We all use MetaMask. I don't know, what you guys using MetaMask for today? To shout it out. So payments, swaps, I don't know, bridging. Maybe you guys use the MetaMask portfolio. But the long story short is that it's evolving, right? So we're trying to find a way also to get also the community in control of not just their self-custodianship, but also like their data, their decision, and also giving more active feedbacks. So it's all about having a wallet that is culturally like a very user-defensive wallet. So and enable the user always like to understand, okay, where, how many transactions or what transaction you're doing all the time. So I don't know, I cannot predict the future. What I can tell you is what the wallet in the future will not look like. And so the first way is PvP, so it's player versus player. I think right now we are building different wallets with the same features, and what will not happening is that these islands are kind of like growing by each other without actually a full interoperability, without actually having users that are not talking with each other. The second one is the one did all, meaning like we have different journeys. I don't know, like if I ask you guys what you guys are using, I'm sure like there are people more into like NFT, or people more into like loans and credit scoring, or like very DeFi users, or there are just people doing for very easy and very easy and high level abstraction tasks. So I think it's, but the one fit. This is working, like this is not working. Okay, so one entity knows best. I think like we don't know what the future look like, meaning also like we have, I don't know if you check our MetaMask repo, but we have like 200 open issues today, and we cannot get enough feedbacks and implement natively those features that are being asked. So now people came and said, hey, can you build integration around I don't know, non-EVM compatible support, right? Like for example, having Cosmos support, having Solana support, having IPFS support, right? Those are all non-EVM compatible chain. And today, this is the cool stuff is that we can do it everything through Snaps. So if we go next, basically like we have identified those 5 principles that we want to actually continue building, not just the wallet, not just the mobile version, but the entire like culture around building the next generation infrastructure for enabling much more use case. So the first one is all about like giving users access and how do you say, giving users like enough power to make not just decision and having new data points for making conscious decisions, but also like always having the user in mind that they want to defend their own privacy, right? So you need to always know what are you accessing, how you're accessing, and having, whenever you want, revoking access to whatever you're interacting with, right? The second principle is all about trust. So building trust obviously is not easy, and you can literally kill it after like 10, 15 minutes. So everything that we're building, we're thinking about, is that actually like a collaboration? Is it actually like around Web3 culture? Is it actually something that we wanna build and we wanna defend with the users? One example could be, we want to do account recovery. Of course, everybody want to do account recovery, but we're doing account recovery in the right way, right? So no email recovery or any centralized method to get your account back. The third one is obviously like this is kind of like the prerogative of every like let's say Web3 mission. You need to start everything through decentralization. So and this is not just having a fully decentralized way to do things, but it's also about customizing and having a personalized journey around what you're doing, right? You're a DeFi user, so you want to have a DeFi focused wallet. You're an NFT artist, you want to have your like NFT focused wallet. So this customization is key. The other big part is empowering communities, right? Today, I don't know what you're doing, guys, like in the space, and since you are around, but for example, for me, I was always giving feedbacks to the products, right? Giving feedback, opening PRs, getting like feedbacks improvement. I was never really active as like a developer in the ecosystem, right? And I think that's very important, because this is the most important part. Like you want to have a community that's not just giving feedback, but is actually actively feature building new parts of your tech stack, right? And I think this is very important. That's where snaps are happening. So, looking at those principles, we are super keen around permissionless innovation, right? So having community builders building for their product, and this is where actually things are getting interesting. All the use case that you throw at us, all the use case that are getting like from feedbacks and developer journey, now is the time that you can actually build and you can actually like bring like this kind of like extension on top of what MetaMask is today. Cool. So this is the first milestones. We launched that permissionless. So for the past 3 years, snaps were available for developer only on Flask. Do you guys use Flask? So Flask is the canary version of MetaMask. And now the cool thing is that since permissionless, so two weeks ago, we launched 34 snaps. They are basically on this public directory. They are available for everybody that use production MetaMask, right? I think I have here a video, but I'm not sure like if actually the video will start with the sound. Let's see. If not, I don't want to bore you. I will send you the link afterwards. But I will tell you the music we launched. So we played this video where there were like 2,000 people in the room with like a cool sound that was quite crazy. But let's go. We can play it. Looks like a silent read documentation strategy. But so the long story short in this video is that we launched 3 different type of snaps. I will tell you a little bit like in a moment. Okay, I would say let's go next. But basically, it's what are snaps, right? I think like for now you kind of got it. Those are like add-on or extension. We cannot really call it publicly, but they are kind of like plugins, right? Think about features that are extending the functionality of what MetaMask is today. And the cool thing is that today you have an API playground. How many developers are here in this open room? Okay, so people. But basically, like today, you can interact with the API playground for MetaMask itself. So it's a limited API playground. And with snaps, you can basically like interact with any API out there. So if your company building API suite, or if your company is building a specific product, you can actually interact directly with snaps, build your snap, and have access directly through the user base, MetaMask user base afterwards. So how does it work? I just mentioned it, so hands-on and mods. And on a technical level, snaps is a mix of like TypeScript, you have a manifest, a JSON file, and it's running through like a specific like script. And my recommendation is always like, we have mono repos and also examples, snaps. You can actually take a fork it and build from there. And it's already like a bunch of like the work is done there. Those are some use cases that are actually quite good. So we launch right now interoperability, notification, and transaction insights. I will go through the demos later, but interoperability are basically not EVM compatible snaps. So Cosmos Snap, ETC Snap, so you can actually work around with those. Transaction insights is whenever you're accepting a transaction, you can actually like when you install your snap, there we are. I think the battery is killed. But the transaction inside Snap is nothing else as getting more data points on the transaction itself. So before approving, if you have your transaction Snap activated, you can see before approving if you're transacting with a malicious contract or, for example, an airdropped account. And actually, it's super cool because it's giving you much more data points before approving or declining a transaction. Decentralized identity and account abstraction are kind of the next category happening, but you know there is a limited application that you can do on AA. You can just do, for example, account recovery, MPC, sponsor transaction. There are limited accounts, light wallets. There are different use cases that are actually quite interesting. On the interoperability side, this is good. On the interoperability side, you have also like think about non-EVM compatible rollups, similar to like, I don't know, Starknet. You can build also like add your Starknet snap, and it's actually quite interesting what you can do there. Okay, let's go next. What about security? So one important part is that snaps are interacting with the extension, and you as users are the one that are approving or declining all the transaction. And it's super transparent, right? You can see actually everything if you're going next, you see actually like how and when you install this snap. This is the wallet guard snap. By the way, these guys are based in Lagos. I don't know if you, they're super cool. But basically like while you install this snap, you can actually see what and how you're interacting with the extension. So I don't know if you guys install Chrome extension, but a lot of time, even myself, I have no idea what permission you're granting to the browser to do what. And this is extremely like, is actually really bad, right, if you think about. And through Snap is totally the opposite. Like we want to understand how the users, how is interacting and what actually access you're giving to the extension. Even like access the internet, this is actually quite cool because you even like getting access to the internet, you need to approve it. And those are all like cron jobs that are being part. Cool. So security come first. So this is all around like why we're doing this and how we want to have the users fully committed, understanding what permission is giving and is approving.